Good day, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great Monday. So, today we're going to go over the list of the media lies along with the politically corrupt and the cover ups that they did. And there's a long list just that, in the last 4 or 5 years that I have found. So, first and foremost is General Flynn. The FBI targeted him and the media ran with it, didn't look at the facts, bankrupt the poor guy, which is pretty disgusting considering he was a high-ranking general, which truly, that's one of the reasons why I really started digging in deeper outside of what Trey Gowdy had me all looped to do. Let's see. We've got the Biden-Harris incompetence. We know that neither one of them can speak publicly. Hell, I'm struggling with them today too. You know what it tells me? Do you guys remember the hearings on the Hill, the circuses we get when Harris was a senator? You know what that tells me? She had some great writers on her staff, some great bureaucrats that made her look informed and educated, when in fact she's just stupid. It's crazy. Talk about the Covington kids. Do you remember that one? How could we forget that? I remember watching the clip until I saw the full clip and I was, wow, mortified. Kyle Rittenhouse. That's another one. They tried to ruin a kid's life. I mean, they didn't care. There's like, they don't care what the cost is as long as they take power. The BLM and Antifa riots. They called it the summer of love. I call it the summer of abusive love because they destroyed cities and caused billions of dollars of damage. And in reality, they're like, oh, insurance. They got insurance. That'll cover it. That insurance premium that those employers and property owners pay for, when it increases, it's a trickle-down effect. It still affects us. We end up paying the price for that. Oh, don't mind what I'm doing. I'm making homemade laundry soap. This laundry soap is majority water, so I'd like to have clean clothes. So I'm just mixing. Oh, but yeah, the riots cost us a lot, and it wasn't the summer of love. In fact, I don't even know how these democratic cities aren't third world countries, because frankly they are. It's kind of scary. Oh, let's see. The Russian hoax. Oh, the Russian hoax. Man, boy, the media ran with that. Let's not forget Rachel Madcow. Yeah, I'm calling her Mad Cow because she is just nuts. Every day she thought she broke the story, and it was, oh, so true because Adam shit for brains went out there and said, oh, there's definitely Russian collusion. Russian collusion in the fact that their party did it. The Democratic Party paid for that. Yeah. A lot of us have known that for a while. So, if you didn't know it, here's your FYI. "52 agencies, alphabet agencies, came out and signed a letter that Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation. And you guys fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Because out there in the internet sphere, you can find his business bank statements. I keep harping on it because I cannot believe that people haven't paid attention to this. It's out there. It's online. You can see for yourself the ties to China, Russia, some Arab countries. It's all out there. So Hunter's laptop they suppressed. Russia, everything was Russian disinformation. How about the Biden Inc.? Biden's corrupt hands and everything. Do you think it's a little odd or coincidence that Ukraine's at war with Russia Don't you think that money we're sending could be blackmail at this point? I mean, they definitely have influence peddling going on. The Bidens do, and the Biden family's been doing it forever, just like the Clinton family, just like the Bush family. Sure, Obama's doing some influence peddling. Not sure about his kids yet. Maybe they're not old enough to understand it, but Chelsea Clinton is. Yeah. Think about this too. Russia bad. Who made Russia bad? Who made Russia bad? The media helped spin that narrative. Oh, it just drives me insane. Here's the other thing. The ties to China the Bidens have. That's a big deal. If you don't think it's a big deal, you're not paying attention. I mean, just in my research, seeing that Bohai Harvest had ownership in an African mine. Yeah, that's Hunter's company with the CCP. I mean, you guys need to wake up and understand that. Don't fall for the media lies. There's way too many, and you have to look for yourself. You know, there are certain things that trip my trigger, and one of them is lying. I can't handle it. I can't stand liars. If you tell one lie, it takes 10 truths to cover up the one lie. So, the media and the DC corrupt politicians, boy, they're telling a lot. They got a lot of backpedaling to do. But let's keep going. The Steele dossier. They had all these facts. It's never verified. The COVID lab leak. That was just a cover up. Or if you said anything, you got booted. If you said, no, you're lying, you know, give us the facts on what's going on with COVID. If you went against the narrative, you got booted. Yes, you did. They also stated with Trump's Twitter, and 70,000 of us that were booted from that platform was because we were linked to Q, and that Q is a conspiracy theory. It's a whole group of right-wing radicals. I'm not a radical. And I wasn't a Q follower. I found it interesting to kind of pay attention to, just to see what was getting put out there. But it didn't trip my trigger. Tripping my trigger was looking for the stuff myself. But what Q did, Q just put out information that was already in this public sphere. That's all Q did. And for that monkey guy or whoever he is, I can't think of his name, Akon, whatever, he's not Q. Nice try, HBO, for that one, or Showtime, whichever it was that did the documentary. He's not that smart. I do think that Q has some hands in it, only because the information that's getting put out. I mean, Q didn't put out any information that wasn't already in the public sphere. He just brought it to light so people could go and research. It was the people that decided to spin it into their own narratives and make money off of it that really hurt. In reality, what's wrong with going after pedophiles and arresting them? There's nothing wrong with it. In my opinion, pedophiles can't be redeemed. They're worse than murderers. Pedophiles need the death penalty. When you hurt a child, there's no hope for you. You need to be punished because you're not fixable. You are not fixable when you hurt children, whether it's sexually assaulting them or beating them. So, they like to cover that up too, the media. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the fact that each administration picks what their targets are. And maybe that was one of Trump's. Because boy, there sure were a lot of arrests, including Epstein, which Epstein didn't kill himself. And why is Ghislaine Maxwell in Camp Cupcake in Florida? Media's not covering that either. Yeah, they covered that up. They covered up Epstein too for a while, till us in the social sphere of media, a social platform, said, we're done. We need to expose this. So, but let's keep going. Jussie Smollett. You know, that was a hate crime in the end. It was a hate crime against Caucasians. It was a hate crime against Republicans. Again, it was a hate crime against people that supported our Constitution because we didn't fit their narrative. So what did Jussie Smollett do? Because he wanted more money on his show that he was about to get canceled from, he made up a hoax. And it was a hoax. And the media played right along with it. Another lie. I mean, there's so many lies. I'm sure if I keep going back, I'm going to find more. But let's continue. Border agents whipping illegal aliens. Another lie. Kids in cages. And Trump was putting kids in cages. Obama did that. Yeah, that was one of the things I debunked. Oh. Twitter users, 70,000 Twitter users were deplatformed or their accounts lifetime banned because they were Q supporters. No, we weren't. We were Trump supporters. Some of us had no mention of Q in our bios, but we got banned. Or we got banned for tweeting Hunter Biden's information. It wasn't the laptop for me. It was other things that I found. And I found a lot thanks to Paul Manafort. I went down that rabbit hole, which Paul Manafort, I still think he's a dirty dude based on what I'm seeing. He didn't help this whole Russian war thing either. No, he didn't help it. Neither did George Soros or the Clintons or the McCains. But they're covering that up too. Everyone's ties out of D.C. into the Ukraine war and why we're there. Frankly, I'm tired of being the world's police. I am. And we need to focus because China's coming. But they're not going to talk to you about China either. China, good. China sucks. Their government. I'm not going to say their people, but their government really sucks. But let me continue. Cloth masks prevent the spread. No, they don't. But nice try. It does make me think, though, when I go in to have any kind of surgery, usually the surgeons are wearing cloth masks. Maybe they need a different one. Just my opinion. Oh, people that didn't get the vax, we're enemy of the state. No. How about it's our constitutional right to say no? I don't even take the flu shot. So really, why would I take a vaccine? You may have a cat jump in here. My little Loki. He decided to wake up from his nap. But let me continue. Oh, the vaccine stops the spread. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. They lied to you about that. A lot of them lied to you about that. Oh, and the press conference, I personally watched live where they tried to say Trump said to drink bleach. That didn't happen. I watched that press conference personally myself. I watched it. Boy, they spun that one. Let's see. The Obama administration helped the Ukrainians. No, they didn't. They sent blankets and candy. It wasn't until Trump came in to help them, which I'm not sure I would have helped them. But then again, I don't think a woman needs to be president. Oh, democracy was on the ballot. Oh, there goes the tail. Democracy was not on the ballot. There were candidates on the ballot. And that democracy's at stake. We're not a democracy, we're a republic. They keep failing to say that. It's killing my head. We are a republic. It's killing me. Roe versus Wade decision. All that did was put it back into the state's hands for us to decide. We the people should be voting on what our state is allowed to do. That's all they did. But boy, they sure played up that in the elections. It didn't ban it. Hey, number one, it didn't ban it. It gave it back to us in the states to vote on it. Kansas just had a vote on it. They said, no, we don't want a stricter law. But boy, that congresswoman, she sure played the shit out of that. that we were going to do it, we were going to ban it because the Supreme Court. No. Quick government lesson for everyone. We want less federal government in our life, not more. We should be concerned about our state elections and who's running our state. I mean, look at Florida. Look how well Ron DeSantis is doing because he's using common sense, not the 8% of woke ideology bullshit. That's a totally different topic for me because I can go on a total rant for that. But let's keep going. The January 6th protests. They were protests. They weren't an insurrection because, again, let me say this again. If we really wanted to take that building, we would have taken it. We wouldn't have been just doing selfies. People forget that the Republican side is Second Amendment. We believe in our guns. And no, getting rid of high magazine guns, the magazines themselves that hold more than 7 or 10, still isn't going to stop if we need to take on a tyrannical government. There are more firearms in our country than there are people. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to do it. There's a reason why I didn't go get my conceal and carry. But I sure would like to have a Belgian Malinois fully trained. Yeah, I love myself some police dogs, military dogs. Oh, let's see. So yeah, the January 6th protests, it was a protest. And we can protest peacefully. The alphabetized agencies, the weaponized agencies that are supposed to protect us, help facilitate it to being a bad thing. I think they probably helped in the BLM and Antifa Summer of Abusive Love riots as well. They failed to go over the fact that these Democrats, during the Summer of Abusive Love and people getting arrested, were actively pushing the GoFundMes for bail money for these criminals. They didn't talk about that, did they? They want these criminals to be let out, and they want you on a GoFundMe to pay for it. Page 3. This one's really what got me. Is Blasey Ford, Christine Blasey Ford, and Kavanaugh. Wow. Wow. That was so covered up. They made her to be like she was this poor, defenseless person. Frankly, I think she's disgusting, but they didn't give you the full story on that. How about Adam Schiff? They supported Adam Schiff, and when he came out from in the skiff with Devin Nunes and said, oh, there's clearly Russian collusion. Clearly Russian collusion by the Democrats. They paid for the Russian disinformation. And Hillary, when she was Secretary of State, they covered this one too, sold parts of our nuclear minerals to Putin. I think it's Rosneft, but I digress. They didn't cover that either. They didn't cover the fact that when the DNC was hacked, that they didn't turn over their information to the FBI. They turned over a copy. How can you do a full investigation with a copy? They also covered up the fact that they pushed Bernie Sanders out when he clearly was their nominee because Hillary, she was going to win. They failed to report that Hillary, when she became their nominee, made a deal with the DNC, and she kept out of every dollar 90 cents and gave 10 cents to the Democrats, to the party. They didn't cover that either. They also stated that the conservatives are racists. Actually, we're not. We actually don't care what color your skin is. We care that you love America. And we care to keep our rights, our laws, our thoughts within our house. So I don't care what color you are. If you love America, That's what matters. I don't care your color. I think I'm a Gen X. I don't think I'm a Gen Z. In any case, I was racing and Jesus loves the little children of the world. So, your words, calling us words, media, and your lies, you can call us anything you want. It doesn't bother us anymore. We're immune to it. School boards and parents, the parents were doing violent acts, and then the government, Biden's DOJ, decided to stick the weaponized agencies like the FBI onto these poor parents. Thank God I don't have any kids in school because I'd be on that list. Oh, I got a cat in the video. Come on, Loki, you gotta move. You don't need all the light all the time. Oh, they're covering up the voter irregularities. I'm not a denier, but I'm definitely calling bullshit. There's a lot of sketchy shit going on, and why aren't they covering it? Why is it that Abraham Lincoln can get elected with no electricity, no internet, paper ballots being hand counted in a week, but some of these states can't get it done in a day? Come on. Think about that. Abraham Lincoln got voted in, all the ballots counted in a week with no electricity, no internet, everything on horseback, no cars. And we're in the modern times and they can't get it done in a day. Ballot harvesting. They're covering that up and they're lying about it. How about when Maxine Waters went out and told her people, her supporters, to go out and attack conservatives? They covered that up too. That's a threat against Americans. A sitting congresswoman made threats and told her supporters to go out and threaten conservatives. That's an act of violence. Was she held accountable? No, because they didn't report on it. How about Eric Swalwell? I like to call him Eric Swallowwell, who was having an affair with a Chinese hooker. You know, he gave secrets. I mean, they also didn't cover that Dianne Feinstein and her husband have ties in China and business in China, just kind of like the McConnells do, and the Bidens and the Clintons, and I'm sure the Romneys do too. There's a lot of that you guys need to pay attention to. Don't look on mainstream media. You got to go and look for the outliers of news reporting. I mean, there's one guy on YouTube that I follow, his coverage on the Ukrainian war. His is more fact-based than what we get on mainstream. But I digress. Let's finish the list. Oh, let's talk about the Democrats' interference in the Ukrainian election. It's the whole reason why Putin was up in arms. In the Obama administration with Victoria Nuland. Yes. And George Soros. I would say, how's George Soros still alive? It's like the Satan just lives every day, but then right behind him, he's got children. I can't. How about this? They've weaponized the federal agencies. They've weaponized the agencies that are supposed to keep us safe to come against us, to come after us. Think about that. I've been yelling this for 6 years. They've weaponized the agencies that are supposed to protect us to come get us, to come at us, to make up stuff. We've already seen that in the Whitmer trial. They baited those guys with, trying to give them $5,000 Visa gift cards to entrap them. But again, media's not covering that. It's quite scary. It really is. Oh, here's one. Now, I was that person that I was okay with DACA. I was okay with kids that had been in this country and this is all they knew with getting citizenship. Why wouldn't you be? Why would you send a kid who all they know is America back to a country that they know nothing about? Trump offered it to them and they denied it. They didn't want it because they wanted to fight with Trump, because Trump was on the path of bringing back jobs to America that were outsourced to China and I think India and all these other countries. But DACA, hey, lefty, you had some of us that were on the right with you with passing that, and I know it's been done now, is my understanding. But you fucked up. Because frankly, you pushed me so far right with just on the abortion thing. They're lying to you about the abortion thing too. I mean, they didn't cover when that Virginia governor said, oh, if there's a partial birth abortion and the baby survives, we're just going to keep them warm until the mother decides. What? They didn't cover that either, did they? There's a lot that you guys are missing that they're not telling you the truth on. I also watched that governor say it. I found and listened to his whole thing. It's out there. You got to find it. The media is no longer the fifth estate where they're supposed to hold our politicians accountable. So it's up to us. It's up to everyday Americans to get the word out. And I'm not saying you need to trust 100% of what I'm saying. I'm saying go find the facts. It doesn't take that long, and don't do it on the first page of Google. Maybe you have to do DuckDuckGo, which isn't as fast, however. But even if you do Google, you go to the 5th, 6th, 7th page, you can find lots of nuggets. Lots of nuggets. And there's some great researchers out here. I mean, I did notice when I tried to see Twitter, Avery1776, which I love following her work. I can't even, she's been suspended as well, which boggles my brain in any case. Basically, the Democrats and the media are the party of Satan. They no longer care about what we were founded on, which is biblical principles and morals. It's all about what can we get now and how much money can we make on the side. It's amazing that you guys keep voting blue. You're voting blue and tearing up our country, realizing that your right to vote blue is actually in danger. Your right to vote for who you want to is in danger. It's in danger because if you keep going this route, eventually they're going to take more and more of your freedoms away. And the media is going to help. The media is going to help do that. I hope you realize that. It's just one of those that, I mean, you got to pay attention. Pay attention to what, it's like take everything with a grain of salt. And if it's something truly you're passionate about, go look at it. Go see if it's true. I'm not one to say, oh, the Republicans are always right. They're not. We do have some good Republicans in office. We also have a uniparty. Mitch McConnell, Mitt Romney. I think Josh Hawley's doing a great job. I think Ted Cruz has stepped it up. Not a fan of McCarthy right now. My understanding of my state, our congressional candidate was a green light for McCarthy, that he could beat the current Democrat in office. No. Here's the thing, Republican Party. This is for the Republican Party. This is for the chairs and the heads of the states and the federal party. You too have forgotten. We the people choose who we want to represent us. You do not. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the media lies. I'm sick of these government politicians lying. I think that they need to create a law that politicians can no longer lie on the House floor. That's our house. And you're saying it's acceptable to lie. You're no better than the media. There's so much that people are not paying attention to. Go back and find your old government school book and read. The Convention of States, where people are like, oh, we'd have a runaway convention. No, we wouldn't. And it may be smarter to go back to that because, frankly, the federal government has overstepped their bounds so much. Military support, infrastructure, border security. But now they're in our workforce. They're in our banking. They're in our lives every day. I'm going on a tangent here. I'm just sick of it. I want less government in my life every day. Less federal government, less state government. I want to live in peace. I want the media to stop lying. I want them to do true reporting. Don't you? Aren't you tired of being lied to? I am. Frankly, it's disappointing. Even when I watch my local news, I'm like, no, I can't. I can't watch my local news. I stopped watching my local news, I don't know, 7 years ago when they dumped shit down. There was a fire, and the reporter asked the woman, so what did the fireman say when he knocked on your door? What do you think he said? Can I get a cup of coffee? They dumb it down. They dumb down. The media dumbs shit down. So watch it. I'm saying that now. Watch. Or to a football player. Oh, you've made your second touchdown of the game. How does that feel? Felt like shit. I mean, come on. What were you thinking? Ooh, yeah, bonus? No, come on. The media is dumbing down stuff because they think you're stupid. Let's prove to them that you're not. Turn off the TV. Don't watch the media. Don't watch any news. I know it's hard because people get into a habit of it, and some people watch Fox News all day, or they watch CNN, the Communist News Network, or NBC, MSNBC. I can't even say the acronym because I don't watch it. I mean, just turn it off. Turn it off. They're just lying. Find individual content creators that can show you or direct you or tell you. I personally will tell every single one of you guys to go onto every FOIA website of the government and just look to see what's published. There's a lot of nuggets. Chuck Grassley's website, Ron Johnston's website, full of nuggets. Pay attention to footnotes. They matter. I just think that everybody needs to realize that if you don't wake up, we're going to lose our country. Our founding fathers left us the responsibility to protect it. The media was supposed to help keep those government politicians in check, and they're not. They will lie, they will cheat, and they will give you word salad to cover themselves, just like the politicians do. They literally, I mean, I'm so over it. I'm so over it with them thinking that we're stupid. We're not stupid, media. We're not stupid politicians. We are done with you. If I knew then what I know now, maybe I would have ran. Maybe I still will in my local elections. I don't know. But there's a lot. They pushed the Hillary was supposed to win, and the election was stolen in 2016, by the way. So when you talk about election deniers, they started it. They started it. All this information. Here's the thing, too. Because you can't get Russian news right now. Try to find a Russian source of news and listen to what Putin's saying. I want no part of your new world order. That's what he said. Wake up, people. They're also not covering China and what China's been doing. You know, China has fields of life-size boats of ours, ships that we use in our military, for drills of practice against us. But you don't see the media covering that, do you? You don't see the media covering people that got vaxxed and women in general, women having babies after the vax. I'm anxious to see what happens with that. And I know the media is going to come out and start blaming Trump for the vaccine. He got it out there. Here's the difference. He didn't make it mandatory. And you in the media, you pushed the mandatory. People lost their jobs. It weakened our military when you made it mandatory. And the media, you helped do that. The media has helped make America weaker. And we look stupid on the world stage. I mean, at this point, are we becoming a third world country? Here's the other thing. They pushed the defund the police thing, but go look and see what your Democrat buddies put into their bill. The media pushed it. Get rid of the police. Get rid of the police. Let's get social workers out there. How about fund the police? Fund some rehab facilities because we have a drug problem. That's the other thing the media is covering up, the drug problem that's coming across the border. It's not just about illegals coming over here. It's about the drugs coming across. But, let's not talk about it. Ooh, why not? Why not? How about the Paul Pelosi story? They're not telling you the full facts on that one either. I'm sure there's so much more I can come up with. These are just a few. Just a few. Oh, Trump's P-tape. That was a lie. That was done in the Obama administration by one of his Secret Service agents. Ha! Again, why isn't the media holding the politicians accountable for all these people that in prior hearings that were in contempt of Congress? Why is it only Bannon? I'm just posing the questions. It's up for us, all of us, to start pushing the media to do their jobs. And when they're not doing their jobs, you need to turn them off because they get paid by ad revenue. And if there's no ad revenue because nobody's watching it, that's how we hurt them. I'm going to wrap this video up with one last thing. Something dear to my heart that people need to realize. Take your money out of the big banks. Out of the Wells, the Bank of Americas, the Chases, the big banks. Take your money out. Put it into your local banks. Because the big banks are hurting the mid-sized banks and the local banks. When they have control of your money, becomes more regulation. The Reduction in Paperwork Act also is a joke. So with their climate change, they're killing more trees because we have more paper we have to do. And climate change, of course the climate's changing. If it wasn't, we'd still have dinosaurs, wouldn't we? And woolly mammoths. And it's a normal part of nature. And if carbon dioxide is the issue, plant more plants. Because us and nature are one and one. We put out carbon dioxide, they put out oxygen. So if carbon dioxide, is that why Bill Gates wants to decrease population? Just saying, food for thought. In any case, I hope everybody has a great Monday. A little bit longer video, but the media lies. The media lies. I mean, I truly watch Tucker, and I watch him because he gets most of it right. There's more to add on to some of these stories, but I get to chuckling at him because he's laughing so hard at the stupidity that we all see that I can't help myself because I'm laughing at him. So, we're going to be talking about some other stuff that was already talked about that people need a refresher on, and some people just don't know. But until then, let's get these out. Let's show people how the media's lied to them. They're not your friend. They want you to assimilate to their thinking. Never lose your free thought of what you think. That's your brain, not theirs. And until next time, don't talk to ugly strangers. Please like, subscribe, and share. Still trying to build my followers. I need to get to 500, 1,000, but the more we like, the more we share, the more we subscribe, the better we can do, the better we can get information out. Because facts matter. Don't talk to ugly strangers.